good for ya. Well... Oh, for goodness sake, please stop it. Why don't you buy your own newspaper? Oh. You pissed. Getting off, please. Oh, am I glad to get out of this bus. The pests. This town is full of pests. That's all there is to it. I never saw anything like it. I started out all right, and here I am coming back again in such a hurry. Oh, dear. The pest. If I were a judge, I'd have something to say, believe me. Wish they'd make me judge for a day, and I'd get a hold of all these pests and give them a lesson and teach them, and that's all. I wish. Oh, I wish I could do something about this situation, that's all. Oh, dear. Something should be done about those pests. If I had my way, I know what I'm gonna do. Oh, this is gonna be swell. I'm gonna like this. Order in the cart. Order in the cart. If I were judge for a day, I would make those pesky pesters pay and pay. I sentence soul-back slackers to get sunburnt on the back, and then have all their friends come up and give them a whack. Horn blowers I punish this way, make them listen to a saxophone all day. For paper shoulder readers I pile papers up so high, then let someone turn the pages just to poke them in the eye. Now if I were judge I'd surely have my way. So public pests are on display. Have a laugh, it's free today.
Hiya, pal. 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 Hiya, pal.
You nasty man! So, don't ever do that! You like that? Are you listening? Huh?
The shadow. Ha ha ha.
Look ahead! Arrest those pets and put them on display. If I were judge for a day. Boopy doopy doopy doop, boop boopy doop.
And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. I'm centering the camera, hold on. Alright, Twitch is sounding okay. I'm centering the camera, hold on. Let's take a look at the YouTube. Alright, Twitch is sounding okay. YouTube sounds good. Alright, I think we're good to go. I'm going to work a little bit on the kimono. I'm going to work a little bit on the coveralls outfit and the boots, and then maybe I'll see how I'm feeling come 3 o'clock if I want to start just rendering thumbnails for the kimono outfit. Yo, Charles, how are you doing? Oh yeah. All right, let's I'm making morphs. And I'm going to try something different. Yo, Lund, how are you doing? I'm going to try something different with this outfit. Instead of using opacities to shorten it, I'm actually going to make shorter versions. So Rua's over on Jay's Discord mentioned that you could just delete geometry and it's all the same except without that geometry. So I'm kind of using that trick to make shorter versions of outfits. Unfortunately, so what I need to do is, I've kind of got the Genesis 8 long, mid, and short versions done. And I have an undone version started. And then Genesis 9, I have a long version and an undone long version started. What I'm going to do first is we're going to work on special morphs for the undone version of the Genesis 8. And then I can quickly make a mid and short version of that. And then I'm going to seeing where I am. If I can do that before say 2 or 2:15, I might try to move on to the Genesis 9 version. But anyhow, let's good day. Are you in Australia, Lund? Is that the reason for the good day? Or are you just like good day, mate? We used to have a friend, Steve, who's from Australia, and I would torture him with that accent. Good day, mate, because it's so bad. Anyhow, I started doing these, and I'm going to redo some of them. That's the wrong figure. I wanted to do Genesis 8. There's my Genesis 8. You're Canadian. Okay, you're just emulating the Australian accent a bit. It's kind of a cool saying, not gonna lie. Ever since Crocodile Dundee. How is it going? Or bonjour. That's right, bonjour. When you want to be more French than the French. There we go. Content library. That's the Genesis 9. Let's navigate over to the Genesis 8 for the robe and see how we're looking. There's the undone robe. In that state, it looks an awful lot like the done robe. I'm going to tweak my materials a little bit. This is off just a hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that, apply it to everything. I'm going to reapply my trim. I'm looking for my sorrel brown. There it is. Okay, that smoothed that out. Okay, so I do have a few morphs to get started in here already for the undone version. Currently, we have just the ones that open the belt up. And I'm going to use the opened belt more for most of the others. And my brain stopped. Actor special, because these morphs are special. So we can undo the belt. And I have a few versions of the belt undoing. Left side, a couple on the right side. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make all the other morphs. So these are going to be the open morphs. Also, I want to make a hanging morph. And I need a on the ground morph because I haven't done those yet. Slacker. So we'll try those out. So I'm going to export out this shape and make basically we're going to open left again, and then I think maybe off the shoulder, on down the shoulder, and then off the shoulder. So what, 4, and then 4 here, and then there'll be a couple, 3 for the boats. Is what I'm thinking. So let's start with the hanging morph and the on the ground morphs. So I need to export this shape out. Let's do that. And I need to do a couple of things. We need to turn off the set the resolution to base. I'm going to turn the mesh smoothing off for that. We're going to export you out to let's work in the Robe G8F folder, and you are going to be Robe Undone G8. I'm going to replace that. And I'm going to say yes to that, and that looks good. And we'll launch Marvy Designer. I know I'm drinking it on my Rocketeer mug. I'm not sure how old this one is. This one might be from the aughts. Maybe from the 90s. I don't know. I've had at least a half a dozen of these mugs. I still have like 4 or 5. 2 of them have got cracked handles. That's the annoying part. And that's part of the reason why the first one I had was vanished when I was working back in the rocket factory. So I'm pretty sure I got that one in the 90s, not long after the movie. I love this mug. That's the reason why I've got so many of them, just in case they break. I think I hear some noise in the background. Do I have a volume on somewhere that I didn't think I did? That is off. That is off. Do I have another? Oh, that's really low. There it is. Found it. All right, let's get this set up. So I think I'm going to start with the hanging and on the ground morphs. Let's just put you off to the side for now. I think I can do this while leaving DAS open. Generally, I can. I'm going to import add OBJ to garment. And we're going to just take that, which we just exported out, and say OK. And we'll do the on the ground morphs first. So let me, I'm going to add the thickness and make that 5. Just because I generally add like 1.5 millimeters or so of displacement. So I want to make sure that I'm well beyond that. I don't like to get too close. Anyhow, there we go. First morph on the ground is done. This is going to be, this is actually going to be on the ground 3, because I'm going to add, no, this is going to be on the ground 1. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't need to So here we'll export that OBJ selected into here. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna make a subfolder for undone. Because I still have to add on the ground and hanging for the sewed up, the closed up version that doesn't come apart. File name will be on ground 01. Save that. Okay. Let's just pop over here and make sure that everything's set up right. Nothing quite like realizing that you didn't export out a morph right after doing 6 of them or something. That'll make a grown man cry. Not me, of course. Other weaker men. All right, that seemed to work. I should do that without the belt on though. So here, let's reset that and reload it. Okay, and we'll just double check. We'll just pop over here. We'll move this over to specials later on. All right, we'll do another on the ground morph. This one I'm just going to kind of lay flat. This way, if you want to like lay this over a chair or on a bed or something, it's a little bit easier to work with. I guess you could just, you know, deforce that and drop it. But I don't know. I always tend to do something like this. So I think I'll just export that out. File, export, OBJ selected, on, ground. You know what? I'll just click on that and say 2. When you suddenly can't spell ground. And okay to that. Should be good. Okay, I'm going to put this back into place. Maybe. Maybe not. Sometimes the undos don't do what I think it's going to do. Import add OBJ to garment. We'll just reload it. I'm going to go get a hanger. Well, the first one, I'm just going to grab a corner here. We'll just use the pin lasso. And I'm just going to grab a few polys in here. And we'll just do that. And then I'm just going to drag that up so it's a little more centered and not touching the ground. And we're going to call that hanging 2. Because hanging 01 is usually the one I have on a hanger. And I should be able to use this with the Genesis 9 and the Genesis 8 versions. We'll take a quick check because I deleted the same polys on both versions, so the vertex order should still be the same. All right, let me go get my hanger object, import add. This is just an OBJ. I keep it hanging out over here in projects. It just kind of gives me a hanging on a hanger shape. I don't actually share the hanger with anybody, but you know, if you have a hanger, it stands a chance of working with this. I can't spell hanger. There it is, hanger 02. That's the good one. We're going to move it up to about the shoulders. Right about there. We're going to move the robe a little bit forward. And maybe we'll take it up just a hair. We'll do that. And if we're touching the ground, we're going to lift everything up a bit. Ooh, that didn't go very well, did it? Let's actually let's increase the thickness here. See if that helps. Also, you know what? I'm going to reduce gravity so that it doesn't pick up too much momentum when it goes down. Kind of like that. I'm going to increase gravity a little bit at a time until I'm happy. Actually, can I get you to come apart? What's the point of having one that separates if you don't show it off, right? We'll just do that. Friction's a little high in this program. I'm going to tweak the gravity up just a little bit. We'll see how that goes. And my viewers aren't cheap, so screw you, dude. And your cheesy ass Robo links. Simulation properties. I wish there was a way I could just leave that open all the time. Go to 5,000. I'm going to live with that. Let's select that. I got this set at 5. Let's file. Export. OBJ selected. I'm now in the wrong folder. So I think we just come back to here, and I'm in the undone folder here. Thank you, Charles. Oh no, did I not send? Where did I save hanging at? I probably saved it in here. There it is. Let's move that over here. And I remember to spell hanging with 2 G's this time. There's a bonus. And we save that. Let's load these up and see how they're working. Also, and I just want to quickly load them up into the, maybe I'll scale them a little bit too. Because Genesis 9 is a little bit smaller. I haven't been doing that, but I think I might try that this time. I'm probably gonna regret that later. But anyhow, here we go. Let's load those. And we'll say okay to that. And we'll just come over here and check them out. Boink. Hanging 1 looks good. Hanging 2 on the ground. So I think we're good with all of those. Let's do a little bit of organization with these. I'm going to set the presentation. These are special morphs, so for that I like to use this kind of I don't know what color that is, wine. And then we'll move those over into the special category. You probably couldn't see that because it opened on the wrong side. Special. Accept that. Now we should see those down here in special. And let's go ahead and save those out. And I can just select those and save them without having to save everything else. All right. Let's take a look how those work, if those will work for the Genesis 9 or not. Just out of curiosity. Am I simming over here? I'm simming over here. Let's stop that. Let's run over here to Genesis 9. So we have our undone version of the Genesis 9 rope there. I'm going to apply it to the base figure because honestly, these morphs you probably aren't going to use with the figures, which means you're probably not going to dial in the base female shape for those. So let's see how this goes. I got that selected. I'm going to load our morph targets, the Morph Loader Pro. I'm going to do I'm going to try this 9700. Choose more. I'm going to see how this goes. These may not load in. Or they might. I think they loaded in. Let's see how they look. Let's see if my scaling guess was correct. Not too bad. I think I got, so those are done. So let's set these up and save them out. Cool beans. Dum da dum dum. Set. You can't see that. Let's say set. Let me try. If I do you over here, you're still opening. You can't see that. I hate it when that happens. That is for special, and we do the black on the back color. Say okay, accept that, and I did just one. Damn it! I got to do that again. All right, accept that. Should be good. Let's move those over to the special category. There they are. All right, let's save them out. So we'll save as a modifier asset. Because this is my product, I'm going to choose base. And we're just going to come down here to special. And I could save, I could just resave everything. It really doesn't make a difference, but I just sometimes worry that I'm going to screw something up. So if you just save this stuff, it should be fine. All right, that's good. I also want to do the same morphs for the undone versions. So let's try that. I can get rid of you now. And we're going to hide you. Let's bring you back. We'll come back to this in a couple minutes. So let's go navigating back over to, I went too far to here. I need the long one. I'm just for sanity's sake, I'm going to just resave that out. So we got to do a couple of things in here. Parameters. Mesh resolution. Do I not have a smoothing modifier on there? I don't. Chris has got to add a smoothing modifier back onto these. I'm on the wrong figure. That's my problem. Let's select the, how about we select the robe? Let's try that. There we go. Oh. Suddenly my eyes went blurry. I think that's good. Base, smoothing off. Resolution is base. Let me just, because I get confused as to what the good ones are. So sometimes it's just easier just to save out what I'm currently working on. Oh, I gotta, you know what? Before I, that is a little bugaboo I kept meaning to fix. We're going to take a quick little detour into ZBrush, and I'm going to update the base geometry to fix that. Then we'll export this out and make the two morphs. So we'll just open you up in ZBrush real quick, hit in edit mode, pop over to focus. I'm going to zoom over here. Set my intensity down, set my smoothing intensity down, make my brush size a little smaller. I'm just going to smooth that out a little. Actually, I didn't need that. There we go. I am going to smooth that out a little and then just build it up just a little bit to get that, fix that little bugaboo. Should be good. I'm just, you know, while I'm in here. Nope, don't mess with anything if I don't have to. I think I'm fine. All right, we'll use GoZ, and you couldn't see that. And I'm going to update the base mesh and accept that. Should be good. I can't see chat because ZBrush is in the way. So let me do those more. Then I got to resave this with the new geometry. I think I'm good. I'm going to export now. And I'm going to do here, I'm going to override that one right there. Yeah, yes. That's probably good. All right, marvelous design. I do want to use the hanger, so we'll just leave the hanger in here. File, import, add, OPJ to garment. I'm going to pop over here and grab that. I'm going to lower gravity. And then we'll up the gravity later on. As we saw with the higher gravity, it just kind of pushes through. All right, let's get you onto the hanger. And then we'll just do this. I'm going to set the thickness to 5 just to help keep it from accidentally going through itself. All right, stop that. Simulation preset. Let's set you to minus 5, 1, 2, 3. Let's run that. Let it settle a little bit. I'm going to see it. I got it poking through. Probably not critical, but let's see if we can get it to not do that. Probably not. I can probably live with it though, because it's not a, my hanger's pretty thick. So let's go ahead and export this out. This is hanging 01. And I'm doing it here in the main folder so we don't get confused with the ones in the undone folder. All right, that's good. Let's back this up a little bit. All right, about there is probably good. I don't need this hanger anymore. All right, we're going to do the second one, which I'm just going to grab a little bit of the shoulder. And then we run the sim. And just kind of move you a little bit like that. And let me see, do I have, and I'm going to set you to 5, give it a little bit more volume. And, you know, tweak the gravity up a little bit higher again, because I undid it when I was backing up. So I'm just touching. There, that'll probably be good. Hanging 02. Save. Let's just double check. I'm pretty sure this is working. One of those I didn't spell right, did I? Nope. Let's try this again. Yeah, you see I left the G out again. Happens to me all the time when typing hanging for some reason. Except, oh, wait. I'm going to do that again because I think I had the scaling on there, didn't I? See, that's why I regret doing things like scaling. I'm going to go back to my default setting there. Choose the more files, 1 and 2, and open that. They seem to load in okay. Those are looking fine. All right, let's do the on the ground ones. So let's back this up. I'm going to just make sure that's set to 5 before I do this. All right. On the ground, 01. I'm going to increase the simulation properties again. All right, I think we're good. File, export OBJ selected. Okie dokie. All right, we're going to do that again, but we're just going to lay it flat. Are you still set to 5? You are. Okay. File, export, OBJ selected. On ground 2 should be good. Export that out. Okay, I'm going to shut Marvelous Designer down for a second because now it's just running the GPU, even though I'm not actually simulating anything. I should also, actually, let's load these in first. Then I'll shut Marvy Designer down for a minute. I think the hanging ones we already loaded in, right? Looks good. All right. We'll give that a bit of rest. Okay, we're going to color these and organize them and then save them out. Set. Well, you're just way over there today, aren't you? Set presentation. That's the color I use for special morphs and black. And I use green for adjustments, similar to what Daz does. And then we're going to just set that property group to be special. And accept that. And then we'll just save those out. Modifier asset save base. I'm just going to save out the morphs I loaded in. Those are adjustments. Those are the specials. Okay. 2, 3, 4, and accept that. Okay, now we're just going to load those in. Hopefully, they'll fit the Genesis 9 version. And I'm going to do that on the base figure. So we're going to just come over here and load in this one here. This is the base one. This one has the knot is tied up here, and there's a little invisible piece in here that holds the robe together. So let's see if, and I'm going to do the 9700 again, just because I'm a glutton for punishment. Choose more files. I'm going to grab these and open those up, and over here I'm going to drop that down and type in 9700 into the scale and accept that. I think that worked. Let's take a look at how they're looking. These should be just a little bit smaller, right, than the Genesis 8 versions, because Genesis 9 is a little bit shorter than Genesis 8. It's probably good enough. All right. Yeah, all right, same deal we did with Genesis 8. We're going to change the color, set presentation. We're using that wine color in black, and accept, and then we'll just set the property group over to special. And then we're just going to open up Marvelous Designer and go back to doing the special morphs to open up the front of the undone version. And I'm in the middle of moving that there. Okay, and then we're just going to save you out. Base. And not there, but over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and accept. Should be good. I probably don't need this in here, but you know what? It doesn't. I think I could just hide it. And we're just going to go back to the undone version for Genesis 8. I have to do separate because these I just can't share between the two. They never quite work out. And what am I working with? I'm working with you, undone. Okay, and then we're going to relaunch Marby Designer. Is my Twitch frozen? It's good now. Okay. That material's off. We'll try to remember to fix that when we save. I noted it before and fixed it, but then I went and deleted this. Anyhow, where are we? We're working with Genesis 8, so let's load in a Genesis 8 avatar. File, import, add, OBJ to garment. I want that one right there. I think that's it. I'm going to check the belt and see if it's the smooth version. That is the smooth version. It was a little janky earlier, but I smoothed it out in Blender. So we're going to start with that. Let's go ahead and just knock out the both morphs. Those are the easy ones. I want to take a look over here just to see what I need to name these. We'll come down here into the specials. And this is like open both. Is open both? I did do these, but they're a little... I reworked the belt a little bit. So I'm going to do... I'm going to redo 3, 4, and 5 because I changed the belt some. And also I tweaked the base shape a little bit, I think. Anywho. So let's start with this. And what I'm trying to do is just get this. So just a little bit of separation right down the middle. Or maybe not. Let me change the right about there. Okay, so that's going to become undone, I think 3. Export OBJ selected. So I'm going to overwrite the ones I have in here right now. Undone both 3. And so I'm also going to make, so basically we're going to do a version of this just for the left side and a version of this just for the right side. And in the left and the right side, I can actually take it off one shoulder. For both sides, if you take it off one shoulder, that's on the ground. So we're just going to pull you off to the side here. And we'll just do the same thing over here. That's going to become open both 4. And then for open both 5, we're going to pull it off the shoulder. I'm going to pin the hands in place before we do that, because I really don't want these sliding down. It's going to get a little bunchy in here, but I don't want these sliding over the hands any more than they kind of are right now. So we use the pen lasso, and I'm just going to kind of grab parts of the top of the hand here, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we're just going to pull that off the shoulders. And, you know, I'm just going to take you and bring you up. Angle of attack makes a difference. And right about there. Maybe. Nope. I didn't like that. I should stop periodically. Let's try this again. I should periodically just hit the space bar, stop the sim, just so I have a decent undo point. Like that. Now I'm happy with this side. I can undo that, and we can just pop over and kind of get the other side. And then this way, if I accidentally do something I don't like, see, I didn't make that mistake this time, and we'll just pull you down a little bit in the back. That's going to be undo 5, I think. Export OBJ selected and undo both 5. There we go. Save that. All right, let's see if I can undo all the way back to there. Now we're going to do some pins. I'm going to try to pin up this side here so that that doesn't move when I'm playing with the left side. So, and I think I'll start from here and work down. I can't see what I'm doing. I'll add stuff later. I'll do that. You know what? I can look up her dress. I can't select the stuff underneath something, which is annoying. There's just not a way to do that with Marvelous Designer. They probably call that a feature. I call that a severe limitation that shouldn't be there. Their 3D view selection too. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of grabbing parts of this so it doesn't move too much on the right side. I'm going to hide the avatar and do the same thing from the top. So I want to kind of grab parts of the inside of the top to help hold it in place. And I can see, I think I could just grab through here maybe. And that will probably hold the right side. Let's get the avatar visible again. I think it's still kind of there, but it helps me to, if I can just see it. All right, now we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th one off the shoulder all the way for the left side. And I think those will be probably 4, 5, 6, and 7. I haven't done any of those, so that should be like open L. So right now we have, these are set for just the basic with the belt on. 1, so 2 goes off the shoulder. 3 drops it off the arm. So we're going to kind of do that, except in this case, the first one just opens up a little bit, and then we have a show off shoulder, off arm. So we're going to do it in kind of like that. So I'm just going to kind of pull that over, a bit like that. I'm going to set that offset to 5 again. Hear a noise? It's Atherin. You know, that's like your entry, isn't it? How is Atherin today? How is the wide world of Atherin? All right, this is, what did I just said 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 4. Bien. You know I don't speak firm. Thank you for the shout out, Charles. File, export OBJ selected, open L04. Perfect timing. You can say okay to that. And then we'll just do this. I'm just going to pull you out over here. And file, export, OBJ selected, open L05. Say okay to that. And then I'm gonna pin the hand. To keep it from sliding off the hand. All right. So we're gonna pull that up and over and off the shoulder. Somehow. Something like that. Did I accidentally touch something over there? I didn't. So I think that is good. Oh, open L. Oh, I think I'm on 6. Save that. Okay, and now I'm just going to pull it off the arm. So I need to lose this pin now. This program has a little quirk. If I do delete selected pin, a lot of times it just takes that to delete all the pins. That time it worked because, of course, I'm talking about it. It knows other people are watching. So I'm just going to drag you off the arm. And then we're going to slowly bring you back like that and just let you hang down in the back. Maybe I'll just pull you back this way a little bit. And then we'll stop that. Probably good. File, export, OBJ selected, open L07. So we're done with the left side. Now we just need to do the right side. Bum, bum, bum. So let's see if I can just undo my way all the way back. There we go. And we'll just delete all the pins now. And let's just do a quick check over here. Import. Choose. Oops. My scaling's off. Actually, I can fix it after I get my morphs. That's right. There they are. There's the opens. We already brought in the open boths. I don't remember now. I'll just reload them. I'm going to make sure I'm using the proper scale for this. I have a preset. I'm not sure how to save presets anymore. I set things up different, and the little save button doesn't seem to work anymore. So I don't know. Maybe that's just a new version. Unfortunately, my preset got saved a long time ago. Oh, the cat got stuck. Oh, dang. We'll have to hold on. I'll refresh the screen. That's been happening. Where's my OBS? There it is. All right. Did it go away? It did not go away. Let's try. I think maybe I have to let the refresh take place. There we go. Kitty be gone. I think this is good. Let's hit accept. Let's say okay. Let's see how these are looking. They should be all over here. And the open boats, I already had some in here, so they should be somewhere in here. So that works. I want to check my undone belt when that happens. Okay, that's the smoothed out belt. My earlier versions. Ooh, I have to teach. I'm going to touch that up. Bad morph. Is that happening on all of them? Oh, it's happening with the smooth. The smoothing's doing it. The morph is fine, but when the smooth kicks in. So I probably have to tweak all of these morphs up a little bit. Oh, boo hoo hoo. That's going to be a little tedious, but we can do it. Or I can just add a little extra. If I tweak and then resave and then reload, I have an adjustment more for that, I think. Adjust belt back, right? So I think not quite. I think I have to make a special purpose adjust belt back. Actually, let me try something. I'm going to reapply the smoothing modifier. Or actually, if we do, let's see if we can fix this. Come over to the general mesh smoothing right here. You know, base mesh shape with really morphed shapes doesn't work, so I'm going to set you to generic. And let's see if that fixes things. If that makes any difference here. That was it. That was that. So I got to remember to save this as a generic instead of as a... One version, it kind of calculates smoothing based on the shape. The other just kind of applies a generic smoothing modifier, irregardless of the initial shape. So I'm going to have to remember to switch that back to generic. I think that fixes that problem. Okay, Control-Shift-F. I think I'm happy with these. We're going to clean these up after we get the other morphs loaded in. So now I just have to do the right side morphs. Yeah, yes. So back over to Marvelous Designer. I'm not hearing my fan, so that's good. Let's pin the left side, and I'll also pin this hand. So I got the pen tool out. I'm just going to drag a line through here. Oh no, my mouse is running off the pad. Probably good. I'm going to go ahead and I think pin the hand in place for a few of these. And then what we're going to do, it's still going to be kind of under on the first one, I think, because it's going to be, maybe we just pull it so it comes over. Actually, what do I do it so it just comes out the front? And I might still set to 5. I'm going to set you back to 5 because I ended it too far back. Let's see how this goes. Activate. And what we're going to do is try to pull this side out a bit. Right? In this case, I don't want it to... Why don't I just pull you out and put you in front? Oh no, it's pinned at the bottom there. It bled through. Why you bleed through? You evil wap bastard you. I'm gonna undo that. We can deselect those. So I need my tool. Is it the control? You were supposed to. You are not deselecting. Deselect, damn you. Is it the alt? No. Evil, evil. It's evil. There, now it works. it's, it's that, they call it insanity when you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. Except with this program, you do the same thing over and over again and then suddenly you get different results. It's because I did something in between. I think it's changed it, but it makes no sense. It should always act the same way, but it doesn't. What happens if I just pull you out and put you in front of the other one? Yep, I'm going to stop that for a second. I want to put a pin in this so I can just drag it over. And then see if I can kind of get this to just sit over the front a little bit. And I'm going to call that that's going to be the RO1. Did you get pulled funny? All right, let's try that one. Did I get something weird going on with the hand? I do, because you're coming down the shoulder a bit too far. See if I can get you back up a little. All right, I think that's going to be good. Export OBJ selected. Open RO4. Okay. All right, now that was the hard one. The rest of these should go a little. Put you over there. File. Export. OBJ selected. Open RO5. Save that. Say okay to that. Let's pull you off the shoulder a little. This is the reason why we got the hand pinned up over there. Let's export that out. File, export, OBJ selected. Open RO6. Save that. Okie dokie. All right, let's delete just that one. So right click, delete selected pin. And we're just going to pull that off the hands there. Take this off the shoulder all the way. Oops. There we go. Ease you back into place. And let it relax and maybe pull that back a little. And we'll export that out. How is that? That's probably fine. If I don't like it, I'll probably just smooth it out with Blender or something. I wish there was a Go Blender instead of a Go Z. I like smoothing better in Blender than ZBrush by a long mile. Export OBJ selected. Open R07. Say okay to that. All right, let's load these up, save them out. That takes us a little past 2, so I think I'm going to take a break from this and we'll look at the coverall output for a little bit. Actually, what I'm going to do is I think I've got all the Morse I need in here. I'm going to go ahead and save out the undone versions after we load that in. I have to fix this, save this. I'm going to save it as the long. We're going to tweak the material zones a little bit. I'm going to delete these, and then I'm going to delete these. So that's the mid. That's the short. Load your Morse in first, Chris. First things first. Let's do the Morse. These 4 here should be good. Oops, one of these didn't work. 6 was off. All right, let's back this up to 6. Right there, that's 6. I probably didn't have it selected when we exported it. Right there, you can see that I did not have the robe selected when we exported. All right, so we're going to say okay to that and re-import 6. And we are happy with that. All right, let's tweak these. Once again, we're going to set the color of the dial to what I use for special colors. And then we're going to move this over to the special category. Set the property group. Actor special, accept that. Let's take a quick peek at how these are looking. Actor special. These are probably all at the bottom here. 7, 6, 5, 4, R7, 5. I think these are fine. 4 and 6. I want to add before I just want to. No, I'm going to do that later. I want to adjust the length, but I need to do that for each of the different versions. So I think this is good here. I got this. It's hard to see, but there's a difference in the materials here, so I'm going to fix that. Let's come over to materials. I think I'm currently in the long version. Say long. That didn't seem to do anything. So I'm just going to copy and paste. That's fine. And then we're going to put the sorrel brown trim. If things go well with the overalls, we'll get back to just making all these thumbnails later on. There we go. All right, so that is good to go. I'm going to save this, then I'm going to save it as long, mid, and short versions. And if something goes wrong, I have this version I can come back to. So click on you. That is the undone right there. Save that. Already exists. Would you like to replace it? Yes, please. I think that's all good. Just to be safe, I'm going to resave out the morphs. Sometimes when it writes like this, it gets a little funny on saving morphs. I have done that and realized that I didn't actually save out what I thought it saved. So I'm just going to do that. All right. I'm going to now make a long, mid, and short. Long's basically done. I'm going to rename these materials though, because I won't actually need these different zones anymore if I'm going to have 3 actual versions, right? I'm going to copy you. Actually, let's just do this file. Let's rename this to begin with, right? Low, robe, long. Do I want to say undone long? Say undone long. So, or long undone. You have long, long undone, mid, mid undone. Let's try that. Let's try that. Right. And I'm going to copy this. And then we'll save that out as a figure prop asset. And I'm going to paste that right there. Save that. We're going to make sure that that gets pasted right there. Because when I forget to do that, I actually do cry. So, and I should be able to accept that. Okay, and now we're going to set up the long, the mid, and the short versions, and then we're going to make the changes. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to save that as this. And I'm going to make sure to change that and accept that. Should be good. Okay, now I'm going to change this to short. I'm fat figuring short. Oops, actually, let's copy that, and let's make sure I put that space in there. And then we do this same thing, Control V and Control V, and accept that. And let's go take a peek at our data directories, see how things are looking. So we should have one version for all of this. So when I'm done, these two will go away. That will go away. And then I'm just going to have long, long undone, mid, mid undone, short, short undone. And then the G9 versions still need to be made into long, mids, and shorts. So the morphs we just made for the G8, I have to do these for G9. So, and I think I'm done with Marvelous Designer for now. So we're going to close that down. I'm going to do that later, either later today or tomorrow. We'll add the morphs to the G9. Okay. So I'm going to do that. We're going to load. So this here, I'm going to move you out of here. We're going to cut you. Just get you out of the way. And we'll paste you over here so I can get rid of you later. And so there's long, long undone. We're going to do long undone first. And basically what I want to do is I want to collapse these material groups into this up here. So we'll go into the geometry editor for that. Come into the tool settings, and we are looking at surfaces. So what I want is I want robe 3, robe 4, trim edge. No, I want to keep trim edge. No, I want trim edge. I want to reassign these two. Actually, this one is going to become 2. These two are going to become part of this up here. Robe 2. Did I? No, those are trim edges, right? Yeah. And I want these two. They're going to end up in here too. I think I'm just going to. I'm going to clear my selection. Start again. I'm confusing myself. Okay. That and that. I want to become that. Okay. This and actually this and this. I want to have those become that. I think I missed somehow. Let's try this again. This and this. I want to become that. And then all of these. So this becomes. This is going to become 2. So we're going to get rid of these. I'm going to get rid of these. This one here becomes 2. So we're collapsing down the number of materials here. Now the trim edges. So all of this, I think I just can combine all of these, that and that, and just add them to 2. And it should be good, right? And then we bring you back into visibility. And now that is that. That is the trim edges. And that is the trim. So I think I'm good. So this is the long one, right? So now we're ready to resave this. Let's just take a quick check, sanity check, make sure my morphs didn't do something funky. I think that's fine. That looks good. It's fine. Okay. Now we just resave. Oops, what did I do? Now I'm just going to resave this. Then we're going to do this for the mid and the short. Then we're going to move on to overalls. So you are the long undone. Yes, and this time it's going to, this looks good. I think we're all fine here. All of that, and it says long undone. And we'll just take a peek over in the data directory and see if it says 219. Date modified. Long undone. 219. Excellent. All right, let's do the mid. I think I'm good with this. I think we'll double check just to make sure. I am down to, yeah, row 2. There we go. That works for that one. All right. Hopefully mid won't be as complicated. And short, it's just a matter of deleting the stuff underneath it. Actually, let's do short first because that's the easy one. We'll get it out of the way. This is the tricky part. We're going to actually delete mesh off of this. And if something goes wrong, we have a backup copy and we can retry this. Geometry editor, tool selection. And what I am selecting is everything under, so we're getting rid of all the 2s and the 3s. Like that. And then we'll come over here and geometry editing, and we're just going to delete selected polygons. Can't be undone. Are you sure you want to do it? What the hell? There is the short version. We're going to reapply the trim modifier onto there and then save this. You're over here in materials. I'm not seeing my materials. Why am I seeing my... Where am I? Who am I? Oh no, I haven't split up. That's right. Eventually, I'm going to... This will allow me to simplify my materials too. So all these materials will end up in here. And I just need... Right now, I've got different materials for each length because I was using opacities. But when I just do actual ones, I can just simplify the materials. So that's the real reason for this. So we are putting my sorrel on here again. Short color white, short color rosewood, sorrel brown. There we go. Oops, that's the overall. I'm looking for the trim. Right there. There it is. All right. So that's ready to save. And the morph should still work on this, right? See, morph still work. I might have to come in and do a little bit of tweaking on some of these morphs. Are you still... Did I save you with my smoothing? I have to memorize that, don't I? Do I have smoothing in here? Am I in the right thing? Where am I? General. Mesh smoothing. You still... Let's do that. I got to remember to memorize that. When I do that, it goes away. Let's switch you and let's memorize you. I'll probably have to remember to memorize and save the other ones too. Are you my memorize? No, my memorize is over here. Memorize figure. There we go. My enable smoothing is on. Okay. My mesh resolution. So that is good. Now we're just going to save you as a short. Let's just check over here. You do say short. Yay. That is short undone. Save that. Yes, let's replace it. See, the product didn't stick. That fouls me up sometimes when it decides to just not do that. I think we're good. Oh, it's because I changed the geometry. That's why. Okay, I think we're good there. Short should be fine. I'm going to play with the morphs just a little bit just to make sure I didn't do something stupid. Yeah, it looks like my morphs still work. Yay. How my open boats look? They still looks good. And with that generic on, it looks a lot better. And you know what? I will probably just add an opacity to hide the belt. I think is what we'll do. So I'm just going to make a little matte file that you can just hide the belt with if you don't want to see it. I'm not going to make 3 more versions. Actually, without the belt. No, it ain't happening. All right, so the short version's good. Let's do the mid version and move on to coveralls. I said that like an hour ago, didn't I? Well, maybe 10 minutes ago. Come back over here. Are you mid undone? So we're just going to remove the bottom parts of those, the things with 4s. Then I'm going to reassign the 3s to say 2s. So first things first, where's my tool settings? There we are. Let's open up surfaces. I have got the, there we go. So I want to select the edge for trim edge 4, trim 4, and robe 4. That's all the stuff at the bottom. And we're just going to come over here and geometry editor, and can I get you a little higher? This is running off the screen. I don't know if you can see that. Delete selected polygons. Are you sure? Yeah, what the hell? Alrighty. Okay, now we're just going to reassign these material zones. So what I want is, I want to take this and I want to assign it to that. So let's plus that. And let's assign that. And let's delete that. Okay, then I want to take you. You actually want to, so I actually want to take you and assign you to this bottom. And then get rid of this. And then rename you to. Oh, no, I did that wrong. Damn it. I broke it. I done broke it. I can fix it. I have the tools. I actually wanted to assign 2 to this. So anyhow, I'm going to take that and assign that to that. Get rid of you. What did I just get rid of? Oh, I think I clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to hide this. Oh, it's in there. If I hide you, how did that work out? I don't know. If I hide you, oh, you're broken. I got part of this into that. So what I need to do is unhide you. I think, I can't tell. I can't see what I'm doing. Get rid of that. Oh, trim edge. Weren't you assigned a part of trim edge? Did you get it? Did I accidentally put you on trim 2? There we go. These need to be part of trim edge. Trim edge 2. And there's parts of it hidden underneath, which is going to be a pain to get to. For your selection, I am almost better off going and reloading stuff and redoing this again. Clear selection. I need to see. There we go. Am I not? There's my. I'm assigning to that. Should be good. I'm going to hide that. There's a trim back in here. I have to grab that. I can't see it. What I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to select through here. And we'll just expand that selection. And I'm just going to hide that. Visibility. Hide selected polygons. Okay, now I can get back in here. I'm just going to make sure Now my selection's clear before I move on. And then we're just going to assign you to this. I'll just do that as I go along a little bit at a time. Once I get to this point here, I can now hide that, and then I can select the connecteds there and assign that. And now I think I'm good for the mid version. Yay. All right, let's bring geometry, visibility, show all polygons. There we go. Okay, I need to apply that trim color to that and then save this out. And that is over here in this folder for right now. This will become the main because then it's only going to be 2s left. Color orange, color sorrel. I think there we go. I think I'm good. I think we can save the mid now. I'm going to switch back to texture shaded because I'm just more comfortable there. Let's hit this. This is going to be mid undone. Save that. Say yes. Product. I knew it was going to do that. I'm getting used to it, what it does now. Okay. This should be good. Except we'll close this down, load it back in, and just double check the morphs real quick. Make sure somehow I didn't break something in the process. Chris is always breaking stuff in the process. I swear I spent as much time fixing stuff that I broke on the last project, the car hop, as I did actually making things. So there we go. There's a mid version. And let's just double check. Open both. One. That's not doing anything. Damn it. Do I got the right thing selected? My morphs broke. I'm going to have to try to redo this. I don't know what I did. This is why I'm checking. I checked the short. The short was fine, right? And the long looked fine. And the short's not working anymore. What the hell? I probably have to save all the morphs before I save, so I'm going to have to redo these. Is the long broken? I'm going to redo these later on. I think that's what it's doing. I don't think it's actually resaving the morphs. I think I probably have to, after I change the geometry, remember to save this. That's what it's doing. Actually, I'm going to do the short, and then we're just going to move on, and I'll fix the other one later. I think I've got this. Let me make sure the long's working. I think the long's working because I didn't break the geometry on that one. Right? See, that works. Okay. And that works. All right, let's make a short version again. Let's resave this. Let's call you short. I'm going to go delete the data folder for the short version just to make sure nothing gets in the way there. Short. Nope. Nope. Short. I'm done. Bye-bye. Okay. Let's try this one more time. I saw that the morphs are still working, and then when I saved it and came back, they weren't, which means for some reason It didn't write them out when we saved. Bad Daz. Bad Daz. Otherwise, this method isn't going to work. I thought this was going to work. What am I doing? I'm geometry editing. We're going to come back over here to tool setup. We're going to go to surfaces, and I'm just going to select all the bottom parts. Actually, we're going to have to go back to the, this is the reason why I saved the other version. This version won't work with it because I already collapsed the materials. Or the surface. So there's the undone. Now I'm going to call you short. We're just going to double check. So that works, right? I'm going to save you. Undone short. I'm going to overwrite that. Short undone. Just to make sure everything got saved. We're going to go take a peek in the data directory and see if there's morphs actually loaded up in there. So there's that short undone, and we'll just pop over into here. And can I just, let's make you a little wider because I can't. So we're looking to make sure that these are non-zero. If we go over and look at the mid, I bet you those don't have sizes to them. Or they're wrong now. What am I looking for? I'm looking for mid undone. These have sizes, but they're not working. I know, let's try this. Geometry editor, tool settings. I'm going to select that and that, that and that, that and that. Let's just delete selected polygons. All right. Let's check and make sure my morphs are still working. They are. Let's save. Over short undone. I'm going to fix that later. Let me see if the morphs are still working. Morphs are still working. So can I save those out? I'm going to hide you. Come over here. And we're going to see if those morphs are working. They're not working. Damn it. That's too bad. It isn't actually changing the morphs. It still has a, I mean, what I can probably do is just save them all out one at a time. You know, dial them in, save them, dial them in, save them, and then reload them back in. That's kind of a little tedious. I'm going to save this, and we're going to move on to the coveralls. What am I doing? I'm saving. Save as a scene. Let's do this. Let's put you into the whip folder here. Whip 3 short G8 F. We'll do that. All right. I'm going to stop playing with this. I'm going to shut Daz down for a little while. And I'm going to play with the coverall boots. Hey, Fallen Learns, how are you doing? All right, let's open up Blender and let's take a look at boots. So actually, let's take a look at the coveralls. I think I'll put the pockets on the coveralls, and then we'll look at the boots. I'm having issues with my kimono. The morphs aren't saving out like they were, like I thought they would. I'm gonna have to try to figure out because that would have saved me a lot of time to be able to change the geometry, save it out with the morph still working. But after you save it, the morphs don't work anymore. It's too clever for me. I think what I need to do maybe is just activate all the morphs so they generate and then save them. When we'll get back to Daz a little bit, I'm going to test that out. Although at this point, my I don't know, what am I doing? I'm opening up. What do I got in recent? I got nothing but OBJ files. Okay, let's do open project overalls G8 female. That's where we were working with this on Thursday. So I want to add pockets here and pockets here. So let's do that. Let's see, do I have a pattern for pockets? Probably. Isn't there a pocket pattern piece on here somewhere? Yeah, they're just squares. This doesn't have pockets on the back. I'm just going to put pockets on the back. I think I'll just put big square pockets. We'll put little square pockets on the front. And then we'll put bigger square in the rear. And then I'm going to move on to working on boots. So we'll do that. Why isn't that working? It works on the... Never mind. My brain has stopped. I'm going to make a... Let's put a square on here. Right about there. We'll do this as an internal line, and then there's a way to copy an internal line out. And then we'll sew that on. I actually have to do cut and sews with this stuff, because Daz is being or Marvelous Designers being a butt. We'll do an internal rectangle. I think maybe right about here. Is that where I want that? Maybe a little further down. And I want to maybe pull out a little bit further. Maybe we'll do that. And then can I just cut and sew and then dupe? Cut and sew that because Marvelous Designer isn't doing internal lines properly again. And then I can just copy that. And then I'm just going to sew this to this. I'm going to put a little, let's sew it on first. I'm going to just put a little slice through there so I can have sort of like a little trim detail on the pocket. Do I want a trim detail all the way around? No, I think I'm just going to go with this. And we'll just do that. Actually, I should use an internal line because I can set that up to specific length. I think maybe 15. Say okay with that. And if I cut and sew you, and then we'll just take these and Control D like that. Okay, so that gives me my pockets on the front. I have my faux pockets on the side. We'll put pockets on the bootay. Oh, there's actually, so we have to, I got to put it down here so it's not in those dart zones. Or maybe we just don't put pockets in the back. I think because of the darts, I'm going to skip the pockets in the back. I'll just go with that. Do I want to put pockets on the legs? Would that be cool? No, I think I'm just going to go like this. I think this will be fine. All right, I'm going to hit save on this. And now I'm going to work on boots that will go with this. I still have to add trim zones and things to this. But for today, so let's close you down. Let's open up Blender. I was going to, I think, repurpose, start using the boots that I used for the Action Gal outfit as the starting point. Although I'm going to use different laces. I'm going to try to remember how to use the lacy thing. I think I've got, actually, I might pop over into the, let's look at the Safari boot and see if I can steal part of that. The Safari boot also became the roller skates. Let's go to projects. Let's sort by name. Let's go to pulp. I think it's in pulp, right? Pulp. Safari. Whip. Safari boots blend. Let's see what we have in here. And I'm just going to want to steal the laces. Are you... I do have this final thing, which means everything is probably collapsed. Take a look into here. Who are you, laces? Are you geometry? You're just geometry. Okay, I don't want that. Are you... I think this isn't done with the lace generator here. Why am I not seeing eyelets? Oh, you. I need you. Don't... Where did you... Perhaps I collapse you. Take a look at you. See, you got the eyelets on you. I'm trying to remember how to do this. Oh, so hold on. That I don't need. What is in here? That I don't need. So it's probably that. Why am I not seeing the eyelets? There's that. There's that. There's that. There's that. I feel like I'm losing some stuff in here. I have a lace generator. Let's copy that. Let's see if I can do this. I'm just going to put that off to the side, and we're going to open up another copy of Blender here. And we'll take the action boots and redo the laces a bit on those. See if I can remember how that works. File, open. Is this actually in my open? I don't know. I'll just do open. Don't save. Let's go take a look at action. Is it in action gear? Whip. Action gal. Nope, I'm not seeing you in there. Where did I save you? No. Is it in an archive? Action gear blend. I don't know what's in here. Action gear pants. If I hide that. I have these boots, but those aren't this isn't the file I made the boots. Let me search. I'll load up everything, and we're going to say action blend. So action gear, action harness. Do I have anything in here that happens to say boot? Nope, I just have these gear files, which probably has a copy of the boot in here. Maybe boot. 50s boot blend, combat boot. Maybe I'll just pirate that. Angel boots, boot bakes, boots from 21, boot blend from 22. Hey, hello, Monsieur Loke. How you doing? We're watching Chris not find stuff. So, isn't this exciting? Let's sort by date modified. And I'll go backwards in time. Hiking boots. That's why I can't find them. They're called hiking boots. Can I just drag and drop you into Blender? That would have been too easy. Let's just close you. Don't save. Can I just double click? Still fighting stupid cold and other than that, good. I'm doing all right. Daz is arguing with me over saving morphs properly for different versions of an outfit. All right, I think I'm gonna use that as a starting point, but we're gonna do eyelets and we're not gonna do these kind of laces. So I'm gonna resave this. We're gonna delete these off. Oh, and I'm gonna redo the sole, I think. That's good. How so? Two different replies. I'm not sure which one. I'm trying to delete geometry, save a file, and the morphs work when I delete the geometry, but when I save the file and open it back up, the morphs no longer work. So I have to try to figure out a way to get it to save the morphs so they still work after deleting the geometry. It's really annoying because I bring the outfit in and I just will use the delete geometry. And when I delete the geometry, the morphs are still working. Then when I save the file and open it back up, they don't work. So that's Daz. That's Daz for you. I'm going to save this file, save as. We're going to stick this over into the overall folder. Maybe a Daz thing. Yeah. I mean, I have ways I can probably get around it. It's going to be kind of tedious though. I mean, I can export everything out and then just load it back in as a morph. And I'm wondering if there's a utility that will do that. If somebody actually wrote something that'll take all the morphs in a figure and just save them out. All the D4 settings vanished on my preset files on the After Dark outfit. Oh, how annoying. Unless you told it not to, it should have just automatically saved them. I mean, in general, if you're just changing colors, you don't really want to change the presets. But if you're making actual presets for saving simulation settings, I haven't had that happen, so I'm not sure why it's just Daz being Daz, right? I think this is called overalls. You def had it in place when you saved the master loaders. Yeah. Evil wet bastard. Where am I saving overalls? I'm in the wrong directory. That's the problem. I'm over on the M drive. There's overalls. I don't have anything in here. You know what? Let's make a whip folder. And let's call this overall. Overalls boots, so I know what it belongs to. As opposed to hiking boots. I have an awful lot of stuff in here. So let's clean stuff out. I don't need those because we're going to change things. That is probably... I could probably just keep that and redo the parts that I want to change. Is what I'm thinking. And we can go from there. I think I want to just edit that a little bit. Maybe I'll just leave that slack. It'll look the same. But I'm going to put eyelets on here and then use a tie lace. And we have an awful lot of stuff in here we don't need. So I think I'm going to just delete stuff out. But we'll take a look. Final boot. Final boot is what I want to keep. That I don't need. That I don't need. That I don't need. That I can probably... That I don't need. I think I'll just delete that collection out. Do I need you? Yeah, that's a little farther back than what I'm going to need. I just duplicated the collection. Let's not do that. Let's delete hierarchy. There we go. You know what? I think I'll just save the final and go from there. And I'll just clear everything else out. I think I just need a pair of feet in here. You know what? Flat feet work. I'm going to just keep that. Let's delete the rest of this. Let's just get you out of there. I'll just put you into the scene collection. That way I can just get rid of this and get rid of this. Actually, are you being a butt? There we go. I don't need all of that. I think I just want that one right there. Ah, you're the wrong size anyhow. I think I'll just get rid of that. I can export out later. I'm just confusing myself now. What are you? This collection's hidden. That I don't need. BRB. Pull the loaders in and no D-force. Okay. Let's go ahead. Lugs. What is lugs? I'm going to just call you boots. What do I have? That I don't need. And I got a female. I'll leave that in here. That I can lose. So I think I'm good. All right, let's pop in here. Get rid of the stuff we don't need. I do have a mirror modifier on here. Excellent. Let's select by... I'm going to get rid of these eyelets. So we're just going to grab all of those. And then we're going to lose these laces. And get rid of those. And I think I'm just going to kind of keep, and then I'm going to get rid of these lugs. Do I have something in here that says soul lugs? I do. How convenient is that? And I'm just going to kind of, I think I'll just put some sort of texture. I don't know. I probably should just put some sort of boot. I'll figure out something for the bottom of the boots later. Right now, I'm just going to try to get some laces in here. I want to append this curve into that file, though. It will come in handy. Tide curve guide. I'm going to go with that, I think. So what I have to do an append. Let's tab out. Let's do file append. You are located in Safari Pulp. You're in the Pulp folder. Pulp. There we go. Safari. Whip. Boots. I think you are an object. And you are called Tide Curve Guide. There we go. There we are. My happy little Tide Curve Guide. That'll come in handy for maybe recreating this, or I might just steal out of the Safari boot. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that up a little higher. Actually, I'm going to lose this and maybe just pull the whole thing up a little bit. So I'm going to lose the, what are you called? Ankle padding. I think we'll get rid of the ankle padding. And I think I'm going to go with that. Let me see if I can find that lacy thing. There's a geonode lace thing that I'm going to try to use. I'll remake any of the mesh that comes with it. I'm going to pop over here to modeling because I can split this up. And what I need to do is I need to, is it horizontal split? And I need to see my asset browser. And I am looking for the lace. Lace is flat. Is that just and I'm gonna swap. Didn't I do one on my own for this? That is. Let me see what else I got over there. What are you called? Tide curve guide. Yo, Liverick, how are you doing? Yeah, good to see you, buddy. I'm going to swap that out. I'm going to swap that out. Oh, I think I did my own. One of these is. I might redo this. Where's that mine? Oh, that's the untied ones. I don't remember how I did this. Anyhow, I'm going to redo you. Actually, is it still in geometry if it's a simple torus? I am going to redo that. Actually, I'm not going to redo that. Actually, I am going to redo that. That's got, that's not the way I would make that. I'm going to do that as a 6-part. What are you? Actually, I'm going to do that as an 8-part, and then I'm going to do you as probably a 12. I don't know if you're a 12 already or not. You're actually a 12 already. You're a 12 and 6. That's actually how I would just make that. Never mind. I'm going to make that as a 6. And I'm not going to have the caps like that. I'm working on boots now. I was working on a kimono based robe in Daz, but it's giving me issues. Also, I just wanted to work on the boots. So I'm converting these boots over to different laces. So that's what we're doing here right now. Just a quick explanation. I have this lace generator, but I don't like this simple geometry. It isn't quite the way I would want to do that. So I'm going to tab in and swap that out for my own. So I'm just going to do a Shift A, and I'm going to say a cylinder. And we're just going to say 6 on that. I'm going to say 0.002, and I'll just say 0.01. And I'm just going to kind of line that up with where this is right now. Nope. There we go. I will flare mine out a little bit. Actually, let's put you off to the side for right now. Scale you just a little bit more. Let's do that. I am doing proportional editing. Let's not do that. That is the wrong That's not a Z-axis. That's a Z-axis. I'm just going to do that. Going to do that. I just put my cut in here. Oops. I'll just flare you a little bit. Put a little bit of a bevel on that. I'm going to put a little bit of a bevel on this as well. And I know there are tries, but that'll be fine. All right, I'm going to get rid of the geometry that's already in here. I think I'm clicking on the wrong thing. I think I clicked on the right thing that time. Back, had this in it. Yay for the bio break. All right, Control L, Control I, delete faces. All right, I'm good. I'm going to call that good. That's the aglet. All right, let's see. So that should have updated in here with mine. I'll probably tweak it a little bit later on. Let's take this thing. What are you using for? I think that's just a simple tab in, select, tab out, tab. All right, there we go. I vaguely remember how to do this. I think the idea is to kind of shape this along that. At any rate, I mentioned the other day, layered teased to death submitted as soon as it passed review. I'm submitting the Vixen dress, then the After Dark. Nice. I don't want to be looking at X-ray. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put you back because it's going to be easier to position this from outside. RZ, is it, I want to do 6, no. RZ, kind of like that. I'm going to move you over there. I'm going to tab in, and now I'm going to, and we're going to work off of the local. Kind of like that. All right, I'm going to put a cut in here and a cut there. Now I do need to see, I can't see what I'm doing. Yep, can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Now I don't want to see what I'm doing. Gonna have that there. That'll be somewhere about in there. If you have multiple pieces of clothing set to do all parts need to be deforced, or if you're calling the, if you have multiple pieces of clothing set, do all parts need to, I don't think so, no. I think just the deforce, the main parts that are deforced, or maybe anything. A lot of my multiple part outfits, you know, like boots, I never deforce boots. I only D-force like shirts and pants and skirts and clothing items like that. But if I'm using non-D-force parts, I don't. I call it D-force anyhow. I think I think if you need to use D-force to get it to work in any way, I would say D-force. If you had a bed that had a D-force cheat on it, I think there's a. You probably should say D-force in your description is what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Hey, Liverick, it's thanks for being here, man. Um, Found a Bone Dog controller for your NES. It'll make playing Tetris again way easier. Cool. You gonna be streaming again? Is that the? I'm gonna swap those out for my own. Those eyelets. I'm gonna do my own. And I think something like that. We'll add a couple more cuts in there for those. Did I get a? I didn't get one in there. Why did I not get one in there? There we go. Something like that. Right on. I did not want to run into any issues once you submit it after dark. This says D-force, but only has one of the four parts. If you have to get your results using D-force, put D-force in it, even if it's just one part. Yep, definitely. Because if somebody buys that not wanting D, or if somebody buys something that doesn't say D-force and then realizes they have to use D-force for even a part of it, streaming always tempts me, but really want to make a game more. Well, there you go. Focus on what's important. I managed to do okay doing my work with my stream, but it is I will admit it can be a little distracting to be working while streaming. Not gonna lie. Without D-force, the boobs pop out with most poses. Eh. Some people like that, but your tester probably won't. I think that's not bad. We're going to swap out. I'm going to make my own um, eyelet. So we'll come over here into the eyelet. Somebody, Lybrick, thank you for that. I appreciate that. This looks a cart for you, friend. Now, if you could just, I know I'm forever tweaking D-force settings. What works for one thing never seems to work for the next thing. Just love the over and over. Exactly. You run the simulation, going, you know what? I'm just going to make one change, and then you run it again, and it's not quite, and you make another change, and then you run it again, and after a while, you think, oh my gosh, I've just made things a lot worse these last 4 iterations, and you kind of have to go back and. It's the joy of D-force. I'm going to make a cylinder. We're going to clean out the back a little bit and go from there. You're doing a semi-blind because you don't, I know, I think you'll start picking it up with time. And there's probably a guide that actually says what they mean. Let's do a mesh. Let's do a cylinder. Let's do, I don't know, add a cylinder. Let's do, no, I don't want a cylinder. Never mind. I did that wrong. Let's tab in I am good. Okay. Let me put the 3D cursor over here. Is there a way to move cursor to something like that? I forget. I'll just do this old school. Shift A. Torus. I want a torus. I want a 12-part torus with 8 segments. Not 80. 8. 8 segments. And I can't see what I'm doing. I want that minimum radius maybe to be 0.75. Let's see how that looks. I know it looks weird right now. No, I don't want that to be 0.75. Let's try this again. Maybe 0.25. Maybe 0.25 was good. Maybe a little bit larger, 0.35. And actually minor radius, I'm going to do 0.012. Minor radius, 0.003. Maybe 0.0025. What happened to that the original eyelet? I screwed stuff up. You are totally wrong. Undo, undo. I think I broke it. I think I done broke it good. Oh man. Where are you? Yeah, I don't want that. Well, maybe I can just bevel. That doesn't, no, I don't like that. I'm just going to redo this. Shift A. Taurus. I wanted you to be 12 and you to be 8. I got those backwards. So are you showing up yet on this over here? Or did I completely break it? Yep, I think I completely broke it. And I can't get it. I can't get out. Oh no. You know what? I think I'm going to just reload the laces and redo that. Anyway, head is splitting and the Dayquil is about to kick in enough for you to try to sleep. All right, hey, take care, buddy. Good to see you. So, you know what? I'm just going to shift D those. I'm just going to get rid of all of this stuff here and just redo this, I think. Actually, I'm going to keep that. And then we'll just redrag that like that. Can I just put you at 0? Does that move everything? Where's the, there it is. Did I get the lacy thing? No, I done broke it good. I'm just going to delete all of this stuff and reload. Let's try this once more. Boink. Actually, let's save the, let's keep the feet. Lurk. Hey, good to see you. Anyhow, take care. We will catch you later. All right, now let me try this again. Can I just put you... That kind of is interesting, but not what I wanted. So we'll try this again. I'm going to put you there. No, you're totally broke. You're totally borked. I done borked you good. I'm going to save this and try it again. I apparently broke the laces. For whatever reason, that geometry isn't coming in right. File. Am I saving you? I am saving you. Let's close you down. Let's try this once more. All right, let's see if this loads in. No, it's still... How did I... Did you somehow get saved wrong? Oh, you got teeny. You got really teeny. You're still not showing up. It's like somehow it accidentally got itself broke. Let's do a horizontal split. Let's go to the asset browser. Oops. Let's look for this thing. Let's get rid of you. Let's drop you in there. Okay, now it's working. So I'm just gonna append file, and then I'll just rebuild these. File, append. We'll go looking into the projects for the overall boots, and we'll just bring the boot shape over. I think I'm just working with flat feet, so I'm not going to worry about those. I'm looking for set folder that says overalls and whip and overall boots and append that. And this is an object. I think I called it boots. Is that right? Yep, there we go. All right, then I'm just going to change that for my own. Let's tab into there. Can I set the 3D cursor to object origin? Is there a way to do that? And how do you do that? Set the cursor location. Actually, you know what? Let me Google this shit. That is the wrong thing. Blender set 3D cursor to geometry. In edit mode, select faces, press S, and select the cursor to selected. Okay, tab in, select all, shift S, cursor to selected. There we go. And this way I can shift A, do my torus. I want 12 of those. I want 8 of those. I want you to be 0.015. And that still looks too big. And 0.003. Okay, so we'll just tweak you down a little bit. 0.01, 0.008, 0.05. Well, sorry, 0.005, 0.02, 0.002, 0.0016. I think I'm going to live with that. Okay. I'm going to do a shift I and delete the other one. And then I'm going to just change the shape of this a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that and that. Then I'm just going to pull this down a little bit. And let's see how we're looking over here. So that's the new shape I'm going to work with. All right, I'm going to change my aglet to be the one I wanted. Dang it. I'm still in the 3D cursor thing. Nope. Let's try this again. Tab A, Shift S to select it. There we go. Shift A. I'm still in edit mode. Let's do a cylinder this time. I need to have 6 parts. I want a radius of 0.003. And I want a depth of 0.01. Start with that. Scale you down a little bit. Let's grab that edge. Bring you down like so. I'm going to bevel that. Select that face. Actually, I'm going to leave that there for just a second. We'll fix the faces in a second here. GZ E, scale, bevel, scale a wee bit more, probably good. Okay, Control L, Control I, delete the original. And then I'm going to just get rid of those end guns on the top and the bottom. We'll just do it like this. All right, probably good. Let's shade smooth that. And I'm just going to add a couple extra cuts in here. All right, so same thing we did before. We're going to line this up and then put it on the boot. Let's hit save at this point. I'm just going to overwrite you. Are you still open in the background? If you are, I'm going to have to close you. Nope, you're not open in the background. Okay. Select you. I'm going to kind of just fix my local orientation. It's just a little easier to deal with if that kind of lines up with the boot. Somewhere in there. We'll start right about there. All right, let's tab in, select all. I'm off just a little bit, aren't I? That'll probably work better. Let's put a cut in here. Boop. Okay, for just a little while, I need to be able to see through here. Oops. You're going to come up to there. You're going to be in there. I think I'm good. I'm going to add a couple more in here. And let's go ahead and just add the others. Nope, you didn't. There we go. There we are. Is good. That is now obnoxiously in the way. Probably good. Now there's points in here somewhere, which I can't see. Maybe not. I think I need to put a cut through there, don't I? There we go. Now I've got those points. Grab the wrong one. There we are. So this is where it gets fiddly. Okay, so is there a way to tilt those? Probably not. I don't know. Let me see if I've got a tilt over in here. Transform, nothing selected. Does this have like a tilt to it? It doesn't actually, does it? Because that doesn't do it. You know, I'm just going to have to manually, or maybe I add more cuts and then I can give it more curve and maybe it'll flatten out better. Am I proportional editing again? I am not. So if I put a cut in there, and I put a cut in there. See, we can do that. You know, it would be cool. I think there's a way I can view these on top, but I'm not sure. I have to, and I'm off by a little bit, so we get you over here. See, that's going to work. Oops. That's not too bad. You know what? This is in the way. Can I hide that? Let's take a look at our properties on this thing. I think I can turn off the tie for now. Yeah, we can do that. And I can just focus on getting these in place. Then we can just bring that back. You know what? Can I just undo what I did there? Oh, I know. I can just reset that back to the tie curve. Okay, so I can just kind of hide. Is there a way just to hide the tie? You know what? I can just turn that off and remember to just click it back later. When I turn this to mesh, I'll do the final tweaking on it. This is almost. I have little clips, and where it's clipping, I'll have to go in and manually adjust. All right, let me make sure it's looking kind of even. I think that kind of gets me in the ballpark. What is my resolution on these, though? There we go. I'm going to kind of do that. Nope, I kind of needed that, didn't I? Because it pops it up over that. And I kind of want that. Okay. That's probably a good start for those. Where's the other thing? I'll put the tie guide back on there. And I think if I convert that to, so let's organize this stuff. And I am coming up on 4 o'clock, so we're probably gonna, that one's a little low over here. Bring you up a little bit. And then just maybe raise you a little. Okay, let's organize these to a new collection. I'm going to call that. Did I get an option for that? I did not. I just drag and drop those. We'll just call those laces. I got cap lock on. Laces. There we go. And then I can just, maybe dupe you. Move you over here and convert to mesh. Is that going to work? Convert to mesh. Hide laces. And then I can come in here and tweak the mesh to fit better. I should have UV mapped these. And then do that. So we're going to get rid of that. Pop back over to here. Come over into the eyelet. Tap in. That should UV map okay. U unwrap. Looking good. Tap out. Let's go over to the aglet. Tap in. I need to set up some seams on here. I'll put a seam there, and we will put a seam right there, and then we just add a seam right through here. Looking good. Okay, now back to layout. So I am ready now to just dupe this and to make it into a mesh. Now that I've got those set up. Shift D, M, scene collection, right click and convert to mesh. Yay. Now I'm just going to tweak the geometries to fit a little bit better. We can probably put a mirror on here. Shift A, all transforms. There we go. This can use a little bit of cleanup still. So that's kind of going to be the boot right there. I got to tweak these. So there's a whole bunch of little adjusting to make the mesh fit a little bit better on there. Oh, that's clipping into there. I have to go back and redo that again. We have to pull these back a little bit because they're hitting this. I got to make that fit a little better. Maybe I'll just make my aglet a little smaller or something. Things like that in spots where, you know, pull this down so it's underneath that lip better. I think that needs at least one level of subdivision on it. So boots are going to look something like that. And I got to come up with something for the bottom of the soles. All right, I think we're going to call it a day right about here. I'll overwrite that. And let's look for somebody to rate. Thank you all for being here. Liverick, thank you for that sub. Loki, good to see you. We saw Fallen Learns was in the house. And I saw Lund was in here earlier today. So good to see you. And the legendary CS Bond. CS Bond 2. Check my man out. Doesn't stream, but does have a cool Discord. Oh, yeah. We will be back tonight, 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social, Art Share, Discord chat, and an old cartoon. We're still watching Betty Boop cartoons, so feel free to drop in for that. Feel free to join the Discord. Discord. That did not work because I can't even misspell Discord anymore. There we go. Feel free to shop at my dad's store. And let's see who is on the raid. Hey, if there's anybody over on YouTube, like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. If you're on Twitch, feel free to stick around for the raid. Let's see who is on here in the Twitch first. Are you my Twitch? There we go. Go away. Why is all this extra stuff in here? I don't want suggested collabs. I just want to see my followed channels. Taddy's on. Taddy's probably actually Ike's on. We're gonna go over and say hi to Ike. Because that's what you do. It's either Taddy or it's Ike. Ike is, I think she is day 3, Box Arttober. She does commissions and takes tips. So feel free to join the raid. Say hi to Ike if you aren't already. Ike's World. If you aren't already over there, feel free to follow and join the Bean World over there. Anyhow, let's do a shout out for Ike, just in case we get lost. You know, Twitch has gotten a lot better, and I haven't. It's been good about taking people who are joining the raid and making sure they get over. It's been a few years, I think, since the last time I saw myself get left behind from a raid. There is that. So let's do this. We have raid calls. If you can join the raid on Twitch, feel free to either use this if you're not a sub, or if you're like Liverick, Ian, you are a sub. You too can use the sub raid call. Do that. There we go. I'm gonna pop over here. Let's start this raid / raid Control B. Did I put that on the clipboard? I did. All right. Thank you all for being here. I'm still working on the kimono. I got to figure out how to get it changed without it deciding to not keep the morphs anymore. There's like probably a certain step or something, certain secret handshake to get it to work right. Anyhow, hit save on that. Raid has been started. I think raid has been started. Chris Cox, Twitch. Where's my Twitch? I want to see the raid call and I want to see the raid starting. I'm connecting to chat. Why am I still connected? Welcome. There it is. There's my raid call. Did I not hit enter on that raid? It says raid has been started, but I don't see it. I don't see it over here. I don't know. Maybe I'm confused. Twitch is confused. Okay, I see it over here. All right, 5 viewers ready to raid Ike. All right, I'm copying my raid call. Thank you all for being here. Back tonight at 8 p.m. and then back again Monday, 2 p.m. for more 3D stuff. Anyhow, if I don't see you tonight, hope you have a good rest of a Saturday or Sunday. And hasta la vista, baby.